From the Russ Center for Media in downtown Cape Girardeau, welcome to Focus on Southeast, a program on issues, events, and people impacting Southeast Missouri State University and the broader community. I'm Dan Woods with KRCU Public Radio. Later on today's show, we'll learn more about the SEMO Music Academy and explore ways to build a resume to be more successful in the job search. But first, Kyle Kern is with us. He is Director of Clinical Education in the Respiratory Therapy Program, and we're good to have you with us, Sir Kyle.
Thank you, thank you.
So let's start out with your background first.
Yes, okay. So I am currently the Director of Clinical Education for Respiratory Therapy. I have been teaching for 12 years at the Career Technology Center, teaching respiratory therapy, as well as other programs or other areas within the CTC, CPR, that sort of thing.
And you've been active in a state society too.
Yes, I have been active within the Missouri Society for Respiratory Care. I have been our district president 3 times now, and I've been vice president and I've been active within that for 10 years. So
you stay pretty busy.
Yes, very busy.
Okay, well let's talk about the program itself.
So the respiratory therapy program is a joint combination or collaboration within SEMO and the Cape CTC. So this is our 3rd year with this collaboration, and we're very excited. And our collaboration is like a 2+2 program, so like 2 years on campus at SEMO and then 2 years within the respiratory therapy program at the CTC.
Okay, so for folks who may not know, what does a respiratory therapist do?
Well, that is a very...
That's a big, I know it's a lot.
That is. So a respiratory therapist is a person who helps people breathe, and not just, not just adults, but we do every population from the very small, the newborns, neonates, all the way up to the elderly. We assist with mechanical ventilation, we assist with CPR, we do breathing exercises, and then also aid in other procedures that might impact the lungs or the heart. So maybe help removing fluid off of the lung, stuff like that.
How busy were you during COVID?
Very COVID, or very, very busy. So COVID just kept us running nonstop. I remember the first COVID patient that I had, whenever I was working on the side. She was very, very sick, and one of the sickest people that I've seen. Just nonstop busy.
And that's one of those situations where it's a lot of folks were having trouble breathing, and of course respiratory therapists. Were there enough RTs around during that time?
There was not. We could have had double, I believe, double the number of respiratory therapists. But we were in high demand, and we're still in high demand even today. So the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, I just looked it up, is projecting 13% growth up until 2033, 34.
Wow.
So that's a pretty good growth with the aging population.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Talk about the program size and maybe how it's been growing and maybe trends that you're seeing here locally.
Yeah, so our program, currently it's a 2-year program, so in each cohort we can have up to 22 students.
Okay.
Currently we have 10 and 8, so a total of 18, so there is some growth potential, but we have noticed a lot of interest is gaining within this area, and we're very excited about that.
What are job opportunities like for folks who are respiratory therapists?
Job opportunities are plenty. So I know my graduates can be hired very quickly, even before graduation. So they can work in the hospital, they can work in doctor offices and pulmonary function labs, sleep labs. We can work in many, many different areas. And we can fly even. We can transport. Work on that as well.
Yeah. Now, there was a recent accreditation. Talk about that a little bit and what that all entailed. I know it was a big process.
Yes, it was a big process, and I am happy that it's over.
Sigh of relief.
So, yes, it is. So we just went through our 10-year reaccreditation, and it was our accrediting body is COART, the Committee on Respiratory Care Program Accreditation. And so they came to Cape Girardeau, they came to the CTC, met with SEMO faculty, met with our advisors, met with our advisory committee, and they found 0 sanctions of our program. They loved it. We've been accredited since 1981, and we like to keep it for many more years.
What do you enjoy most about what you do? I get the impression when I read your background that you really love your job. You love your work.
I do. I really like teaching. I really like helping young students, and I like helping to send them into the workforce to take care of possibly my family member one day or somebody else. And so I really like whenever the things that I'm teaching and they see at the clinical site that the light bulbs go off, per se, and like to see that. So.
Are there any unique attributes or traits that a student might need to possess to be successful or in this particular field from your perspective?
Well, I don't think our field is necessarily different from many others. You know, students that like to love the science, love the math. We're very big in those areas, but also just other skills, soft skills, showing up on time, knowing how to talk to patients, you know, being dependable. Those are all very big traits that we hear.
Yeah. What are you looking for future? Are there any plans for the program that you're sort of keeping your eye on, or any industry trends that you're watching right now, perhaps?
So currently we are, you know, our national society, the AARC, and even other societies, we are looking at making, you know, right now there was there was a big push for a baccalaureate degree, which we got ahead of that, but there is not a baccalaureate requirement yet, just an associate degree. So we are ahead of the curve on that front in that our students get a baccalaureate degree, and they can go to work and you know, make really good money in the state of Missouri.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're excited about that for sure.
All right, Kyle, well, it's been good visiting with you. Thanks for telling us about the respiratory therapy program here at Southeast.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Steve Schaffer will be with us. This is Focus on Southeast. We'll be right back. The Music Academy at Southeast is dedicated to enriching the lives of its students by stimulating a lifelong appreciation of music. Its professional faculty offers musical instruction to students of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds, and guides the development of basic musical and performing skills while encouraging the creative use of those skills. Steve Schaffer is the director of the Music Academy, and he's with me now. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Dan.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
We're glad you're here with us. So, for folks who may not know about the Music Academy, tell us about it.
Well, it was created in the 80s as a pre-college program. It's an auxiliary of the music department. We offer music instruction to children as young as 4, all the way to retired folks all the way to 84.
Itty bitty to retired, I think you told me.
Itty bitty to retired, that's true. So we have student level faculty teachers, we have professional level teachers that have master's and bachelor's degrees, and that also teach in the public schools and in our area and in our region. And then we have folks on the music department that have PhDs and DMAs that also teach. So,
how long have you been the director now?
I'm in year 11.
Year 11.
Yeah.
Wow. And you, of course, you've been in music. That's just we just know you as the music guy, so you've done that all your whole life, right?
Well, I grew up here in Cape. I moved back from Georgia 35 years ago, and I replaced my orchestra director in the public schools when he retired. And so I was the orchestra guy in the public schools for 22 years and 31 total between that and Georgia.
So how is the Academy funded?
Well, we're funded from fees and from donations from our sponsors.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Burritoville's a big sponsor, I think you told me.
They're our main one, but I've been a loyal Burritoville customer for a long time, so.
It's a good thing.
It is.
So talk about recitals. So the students come in and they practice all these different areas and they get to show what they've learned, right?
Yeah. At the end of each semester, we have end of semester recitals, and not all, but most sign up and they get up and perform. So it's a great example of outcome-based education.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that whole process, because if you're a youngster and you're learning how to play an instrument, but then getting the courage to get up in front of people and maybe talk a little bit about it, I mean, that has to be so enriching for them and rewarding for them and good for them to do.
Well, I kind of preached that through my whole career, that most of us who study music or take lessons do not go into music as a livelihood or as a career, but we all have to get up and speak or make a sale or make a presentation or talk about what it is that other folks need to know about. So this is a great way to develop that skill, to get up and present yourself and show what you've learned.
Yeah. Do you have a pretty good cycle of kids coming through most of the time? I guess it's pretty steady and pretty busy probably all the time.
We're having a very busy fall. We have 230 students and 48 teachers. And the teachers teach anywhere from 1 to 30 kids.
So if you have a student that comes in with a particular instrument, I mean, do you probably cover most of them, but what if a student comes that wants to learn something that maybe you're not doing at the time? Do you try to recruit someone to teach that particular instrument, or how does that work?
Yeah, there's an example of today. I got a registration for next semester for somebody who wants to learn banjo. So I had a student several years ago that played banjo, but the whole time he was teaching in the academy, he also played piano. But the entire time he was there, we didn't get one request for one.
Yeah.
So but occasionally you do reach out in the community to find somebody that's willing to teach a student a specific instrument.
Do you do much recruiting yourself? If you hear a kid play or somewhere else that they're rough around the edges, but you're thinking, oh, we got to get you in. Do you do that kind of stuff too when you're out and about?
Yeah, oh yeah. I do anywhere from 16 to 20 visits out in the community.
Okay.
During a semester, I go to the public, private schools and homeschool groups and do a recruiting effort. And I get real busy in the spring when we're trying to build up our camps and our summer semester. So
December pretty busy?
not as busy as fall and spring,
Okay.
but yeah, that's kind of our a big recruiting time, because we have a kids piano class and beginner guitar, and it kind of varies, but we offer some camps that are very, very affordable, and they can kind of get in there and try and get used to coming to the River campus and finding their way around.
So I guess the classes are held down at the River campus here at the university?
Yeah, we teach all over the campus. We teach in the seminary building and in the Dobbins building, and we're kind of spread out all over the place.
Yeah. So what's the most rewarding about this whole thing for you? I mean, what really brings you joy, I guess, in all of this?
Well, it's what I call harvest time, because I make a lot of parallels with teaching with farming.
Okay.
And so at recital, that's harvest time. And when those little guys get up and play that little 30-second song, you know, I'm a grandpa too, so you see it through a different set of lenses, a different set of eyes when that little guy gets up and he's just concentrating like crazy and navigates successfully through his song, you know.
Yeah. Well, it has to feel good because I would imagine if the little guy or gal's up there playing, grandma, grandpa, aunts and uncles, I'm sure everybody's in the audience.
Oh
Probably.
yeah, Grandpa and Grandma will come all the way from Minnesota to hear a 45-second piano song.
So what do you think people that may not know about the Music Academy, I know you try to market more and more and more, and that's kind of what we're trying to do here today.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the challenges with just getting the word out?
Well, I don't know that there's that much of a challenge with parents, and the parents sell it for you, the families.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
they get to talking about it at the volleyball or soccer games, and you know, we're a cool community. You know, we're not huge, and so we have a website, we have social media, but I think the real success thing is just our families that have been involved with us and help us get the word out and promote it for us.
And it has to feel good just that you're helping to keep music going in this community and growing up a lot of more talented musicians for this area. And
Oh, yeah.
they'll go off in other places too.
Yeah, a lot of the kids that we have are kids that I had in school,
Yeah.
and grandparents. So
Yeah. Comes full kind of
it's
circle.
gone full circle. We have grand students now.
That's great students. Well, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, Steve, it's been good to visit with you. Good luck at the Music Academy, and I know you're going to stay busy, but keep up the good work.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll find out about a tool for building a resume to help find your next job with Dan Presson. You're watching Focus on Southeast. We'll be right back. Back to Focus on Southeast. Searching for your next job can be challenging at times, but there are tools available to help you be successful as you craft your resume. Dan Presson is Assistant Vice President of Economic and Workforce Development here at SEMO, and he's here with those details and all kinds of good stuff. Dan, good to see you as always.
Absolutely, and you know, at the end of the day, I'm a resume writer.
I know.
Personally, myself, I've probably written over 8,000 or 9,000 resumes. And the changes that have happened recently, especially in the job market and the way the job market interacts with a submitted resume, they require adaptation. And so, especially at SEMO Career Services, we've done some things in order to make sure that we're adapting to the future and we're setting our students and alumni up for success.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about is this new, what's it called, applicant tracking system. I guess this system that scans resumes. Talk about this. This is fascinating to me.
94% of resumes are going to hit what's called an applicant tracking system before actually getting to the hands of the individual that's going to review them for hiring.
Okay.
So essentially an applicant tracking system is a computer system that's employed by an employer that will scan a document for keywords and see how those keywords match up to position descriptions and other required documentation. So if a person has an oddly formatted document, if a person has spelling errors, those will be caught. If a person doesn't have enough of the keywords that are relevant to the job search, their resume may never actually make it to a person's hands in order for it to be reviewed by a human eye.
So I guess this is all done with AI and stuff does all of this? I mean, how does that
AI
work?
has really gotten involved in it, but then also just in general, this is a standard practice now in order to reduce that funnel of applicants. You know, the whole hiring process is essentially what I would call a weed out process.
Okay.
They're trying to find a reason not to interview you. And so there will be 1,000 people that'll apply for a job. Only 200 of those people did it correctly. Of those 200 people, maybe 50 of them have decent looking documents. Of those 50 documents, maybe only 20 of them will have the keywords required. And so then the person or the hiring manager only has to look at 1,000, or out of 1,000 potential applicants, they only have to look at physically 20 different resumes.
So if you were at person number 66, but you had a couple of typos and you left out 3 keywords that should have been there, you might have had a lot of experience and been really good for this job, but because of that,
Absolutely.
you're gone.
And make it even worse with an applicant tracking system, because an applicant tracking system is going to be scanning the document from left to right. So let's say you've got a document where you have some white space in a column midway through the page, like you've divided your resume into 2 columns.
Okay.
The applicant tracking system may see that first column as the end of the page.
Oh my
And so there are times when even the entire document won't get viewed. If you sent in your resume as an image file, none of those keywords are able to be read, so the resume comes across in an applicant tracking system as a blank page. So there's a lot of little elements in this whole weed out process.
No kidding.
It really trips people up. And so, you know, it could be a spelling error. It could be keywords that are missing. It could be a lot of different things that would keep your resume from getting through to an actual person reviewing your documents.
So has this made your job in your area in career services, has it made it more difficult to try to catch some of this stuff? I mean, because this stuff's probably, is it taught in classes? I mean, there's some of this stuff that seems so fine-tuned and so minute.
And it's getting more and more fine-tuned because of AI. You know, now you can train an AI model to look at certain sets of data and certain sets of information. You know, most faculty members, especially in a course of study, usually have a really good knowledge base as to what is currently relevant within their area of study. Now, the larger the corporation you go, the more attuned this process is going to be. So for the Facebooks, the Amazons, the Microsofts, those are going to be companies that not only hire a year in advance for an internship or an entry-level employment opportunity, but they deploy really sensitive applicant tracking systems in order to make sure that every keyword is met, to make sure that the candidates that actually get through to a hand selection are the candidates that they really would qualify for a job.
Wow. And I guess the reason we're talking about this is the university, you guys are now offering this where SEMO students can have their resume scanned, I guess, right?
So SEMO students and alumni and staff and faculty, if anybody just wants to play around with the
I
tool.
probably need to check mine too.
Well, it's something that everybody just needs to play with it. Everybody
Yeah,
needs to see what this is like. So SEMO Career Services implemented a system called JobScan. JobScan is an applicant tracking system simulator, and it takes the 85 most commonly used applicant tracking systems in the country. You take your resume, upload it, you put the position to description that you're applying to in another category, and then you run the simulated applicant tracking. And so it will tell you what system the company is commonly using, what are some of the pitfalls of the system that you need to understand to overcome it, and then also it'll show you on your resume where you need to change keywords in order to make sure that your resume gets that step closer to a human eye.
But I mean, it's still going to get in front of a human eye. I mean, at the university, when we've done these searches, there's always a committee that's put together to do these searches. So I guess even in these big places, there's still humans looking at it at the end, but you got to get to that.
You got to get to that point. So you've got to be in that top 20% or top 10%, whatever it is that company, and every HR department is different. Every search process is different, but you've got to make sure that your information is good, relevant, clear, concise, properly worded in order to best ensure your chance of getting to that human review.
Okay, so let me ask this question. So we have this system here that looks at these resumes. Do they do a good job in the end? I mean, does this stuff actually work, or is it just...
No, it does work because all of it is algorithmically proven. And so you've got this system that will show you where you need to add keywords. And so if you add those keywords, if you spiff up your resume, if you make it look a certain way, it just gets you more, one step closer to actually getting that interview. The resume gets the interview gets the job. So this is only one half of the equation, because once you land that interview with the company that you've applied for, then the next thing is to actually conduct the interview. So you also have to make sure that your interview skills are good, you're representing yourself in the right manner, and then you can hopefully secure the employment opportunity.
And that's a whole other thing. And if it could be a Zoom interview, and you got to make sure that the background is good, that your audio is good, that there's all of those elements too.
There are so many different elements to this, and like I said earlier, it's really a weed out process. They're trying to find a reason not to hire you. And so I had a resume come through, they spelled Cape Girardeau right 4 times, and on the 5th time, Cape Girardeau was spelled wrong. That's one of those things where you've got to make sure that you are really hitting the notes properly. At the end of the day, a classically designed, conservatively styled resume is going to be the best, because it doesn't give any impediment to an applicant tracking system, because a tracking system is looking from left to right.
Yeah.
And so if anybody needs an example, they're readily available on the SEMO Career Services website to really show somebody what that classically designed resume looks like, because 9 times out of 10, the classic conservative style document will win.
So if folks are now wanting to update their resume or work on their resume, what are some tips that what should they be doing, I guess, if they're wanting to update it?
So years ago, I used to tell people to keep an Excel spreadsheet of everything that they did. Now what I tell people to do is update your LinkedIn profile whenever you achieve things, or you join a new club or an organization, or you do a volunteer opportunity, because then you can use your LinkedIn profile to inform resume updates. Most people are not constantly updating their resume.
No.
And so it's nice to be able to have a record looking back. And so it's really easy to update a LinkedIn profile. And so you can use your LinkedIn profile to inform your resume update. So it just helps you track your own goals and successes. The next thing I would do is I would tell somebody, do not take TikTok advice. Do not take Instagram advice. That is a surefire way to get some really weird information about resumes. Really look at those classic documents. Look at the SEMO Career Services website. Look at career services websites from other university offices around the country, because we are all a nerdy bunch of resume writers that are out there just trying to get...
You want to help, right?
Yeah, we just want to help. I've done this for a long time, so I can tell you, sometimes the one thing that keeps somebody from getting the job that they want is a very simple change to a document where maybe they're not emphasizing the right thing, they're not putting the right information where it needs to go.
Yeah. Fascinating, Dan. Always good to have you on the show. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, when Focus on Southeast is a collaboration of KRCU Public Radio and the Department of Mass Media here at Southeast Missouri State University. And just a reminder that portions of these conversations will be broadcast on KRCU Public Radio. They'll also be available online at krcu.org and on the station's YouTube channel. From the Rest Center for Media, I'm Dan Woods. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when we focus on Southeast.